Right there. Whereas Thomas served in the United States military during World War II. And I thank you for your service, sir. And whereas
Kenny Tompkins coming up next, going to tell us about this year's Community Memorial Day Parade.
Do this fast. I didn't see Dave's car.
At the Wellness Park Pharmacy at 86th and Buffalo Avenue and the Community Medical Pharmacy on Michigan Avenue just off Main Street, you're not just another customer, and your needs are important. To them, you're a somebody.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
Now under new ownership, both pharmacies will see to it that you get the personal service that you deserve. Want to give them a try? Then call right now, 260-1918, and tell them you want to switch your prescriptions over to the Wellness Park Pharmacy or Community Pharmacy in Niagara Falls. They'll make all the phone calls to make it happen. And both pharmacies offer free home prescription delivery. And when you have them on the phone, be sure to ask about their wide selection of CBD products. Available in creams, oils, gummies, and much, much more. Get all the details today by calling 260-1918. The Wellness Park Pharmacy at 86th and Buffalo Avenue and the Community Medical Pharmacy on Michigan Avenue just off Main. Call 260-1918.
Where everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. Where everybody...
The opinions expressed on NiagaraBroadcastNetwork.com are those of the host and the guest, not of management or the sponsors.
The Sal and Rose Show.
Lovers know a special place, Niagara Falls. Romance shows on every face in Niagara Falls.
And here's the man who brought us that song, Kenny Tompkins.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you did.
I did. Like I said, it's my dad's best friend.
Does a nice job.
He does a very nice job. He really does.
You had to bring him here to sing.
I got to get him. He's out of state.
Well, I know. I just said bring him here.
I'll talk to my father.
Bring him here for your parade or something.
Talk to my father.
What's going on with your parade?
My parade is slowly but surely coming along. We're kind of down on donations this year, but we've had some good sponsorship step forward. I'm really thankful. Mark Cerrone, I just got a check today at the house.
Let's first tell him what the parade is.
What the parade is? It's the Community Memorial Parade. Takes place on Saturday, May 25th. Kicks off at 10 in the morning. Goes from basically the city market up into the park, into Hyde Park, and ends up at the Veterans Memorial where they have a ceremony at noon. It's a really nice time. It's an all-inclusive parade. We invite everybody and anybody that wants to be in it, businesses, organizations, companies, military.
You said you want to make this one of the biggest and best ever.
I want it to be the biggest and best.
Are you doing it?
We're working it. We're making calls. We're begging people. We're borrowing, stealing, trying to get the money together. I've hired a lot of acts to be in it this year, so I think it'll be something for one. It'll be a good one to sit and watch this year. We got a little bit of everything.
Well, you got to clarify that a little bit. You hired acts.
Well, that
sounds like a variety show we're doing.
Well, basically that's what a parade is a variety show. The bands cost money. You hire the bands. You bring the bands in. You might have, we bring in the Primate Sanctuary comes with us. I got a stilt walker this year. We got the clowns coming in this year. I might have some exotic animals coming in this year. It could be really, really fun this year. I really expect. We're looking at about 10 bands this year. We actually have some rock and roll bands coming.
Really? Who are they?
The USA Band's going to be in it. Russ Vesey's going to be in it. Grammy-nominated
But when
singer.
you say rock and roll bands now, these are electric guitars and
These are
they gonna be marching?
rock and roll
Are they
bands.
gonna be marching?
They're
playing
going to be
us?
on a trailer.
So are they gonna be?
They're going to be on a trailer.
They're gonna be playing.
They're going to be playing.
Oh, that's cool.
You might like the one, the USA band. It's kind of your.
Oh, I love them. I love the USA.
I mean, they're a
band.
great band. Frankie G's one of the ones that helped start the
Yeah.
whole Summerfest event.
I've been doing dances and record hops and things with the USA band for years.
Well, heck, you were probably around before they were.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they haven't been around forever. They're an oldies band. You're an oldies guy.
Okay.
You know, when you say, you were doing sock hops and stuff, I think that
okay,
was in
Sonny.
the 50s. Don't worry, Pops. I'll respect you.
Very good. So, but they're going to be performing in the parade.
They're going to be performing in the parade. Yes, they're absolutely. You know, they came to me 3 years ago. So that we finally figured out how to pull it off. They're looking forward to doing it. Like I say, Russ Vesey jumped forward. He wants to do it. I'm really excited. Christina Custodi, who is a Grammy-nominated singer, Lou Custodi's daughter. I think she's been on here with you before.
Been a lot of times, yeah.
She's going to be on there. She actually is one of the people in charge of the Niagara Falls High School marching band. And Lou, I feel bad for you because she made a request, and how can I turn her down? I mean, she's much better looking than Lou, first of all. But Lou's band usually always goes first. She asked if the high school band could be in there so the kids could get out in time.
No. Wait, there's a secret behind that.
What's the secret?
So she wants to go first with the band?
She wants to be up in the front with the band.
You know why?
So she can be in back with the band again.
Yeah, so she can run after the band appears. She can run back and perform herself.
Actually, she has a very good.
She was here. She was here and told us that.
She has a very good thing though. That the kids go to work. A lot of them go to work around noon, so we can get them in. We can get them out because they do want to perform. But it was so funny because when I talked to her, she basically said, "I said, well, there is a band that always goes first." She said, "Who is it?" I said, "Well, it's your dad." She said, "Bump him."
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll throw him out.
That's your.
Sorry, Lou.
She's funny. We had a good time. Lou,
I gotta tell
both
you,
Lou and her were here a couple weeks ago.
They're two of the best people you'll ever meet. They are so willing to give to the community, so willing to give back. When I was doing the kettle ringing for the Salvation Army, a simple phone call to Lou, and he was out there blowing the horn, standing with me in the cold weather.
Yeah.
You know, just great people. I'm honored to have
But
met them and really
but
get
see,
to know them.
being a young kid like you are, you don't remember his mom and dad who
I do not.
who ran the print shop at 15th and Pine.
I do not.
See, that's where they get it from because the Patsy and
This is the one right there by St. Joe's,
they're great. Yeah.
right next to the park.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
That was their print shop.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
It's a long way from being a musician.
Well, no, it was his dad and his mom, and they loved music, both of them.
Absolutely.
And I used to always talk to Big Lou about, playing the trumpet and everything. He loved watching his kids, and he would be so proud to see him now. If he only could see him now.
I'm hoping that Lou outlives me. I can't have taps at my funeral because I'm not military, but boy, I'd love for him to play just go to town there one day when I'm dead.
That's really a nice thing to think about.
Hey, I won't be here, but I can just picture it. I mean, the guy can play. He can really play, I love listening to his music.
Yeah.
Modern music.
I can imagine.
Modern music.
I wanted him to play taps. I mean,
He can't play taps. I'm not military.
oh, okay. All
I'm
right.
not military.
So the parade now, you're still looking. You got sponsors, but you're still looking.
We're not even halfway yet to the money we need. The parade runs about $8,000.
Did you have the money you needed last time?
We got the money we needed last time.
Okay,
yes.
why are you behind this time?
It could be my fault. I could say that. I've been busy collecting petitions and stuff like that. That some things petitions was high priority, but the money has come in. We have all our letters out. We have to do that. I'll start with the follow-ups. Slowly but surely, groups and organizations are reaching out. We got some of the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and different businesses. But let me say, I mean, like I said, some people just come through year after year. Mark Sarone's in, Modern Disposal, St. Mary's Hospital. Fred Queso jumps right up every year. The Cadilly Post in the city market. The Niagara Falls Police Club, you might know them guys, Sal. They're always generous.
Some of them, yeah, I do.
They're always generous.
Sure.
CRB Holdings, our local Tim Hortons, they send me a check in honor of Master Sergeant Scott Dixon, a young gentleman that passed away.
I wouldn't doubt anything that Bob Burns does.
Bob Burns is amazing. He's really generous. And we're redoing the flags down Pine Avenue again this year. And I got to say, Apollo Contracting, Home Maintenance Enterprises, kindly donated a large sum of money Pine Avenue redevelopment filled in the gap along with a couple of private donations that came in. So right now in the back of my truck, I have 120 American flags for doing down Pine Avenue so that the street looks as patriotic as this parade is.
It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time. The only thing we got to count on is Mother Nature.
Yeah, there's no rain date, right?
There is no rain date for a parade.
Yeah, okay.
Parade goes rain or shine.
So
We have something exciting this year, though. We have a surprisingly good MC this year.
and
Yeah, I've got this gentleman. You might know him. You might know. I tried to get Roe from the Sal and Roe show. But,
Yeah.
she's always too busy.
she's very busy.
She's always too busy.
Yeah.
So I had to go for, second fiddle, and I reached out, and I got Joe Chili from The Breeze.
Joe Chili.
Joe Chili.
Joe Chili, our Niagara Falls, one of our Niagara Falls guys here.
As a matter of fact, he's more than Niagara Falls guy to me. He is an Our Lady of Mount Carmel guy.
Oh, okay.
Our Lady of Mount Carmel. I'm laughing when I think of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. When I look at the races this year here, all the political races, Bob Rustino's from Mount Carmel. Seth Piccirillo's from Mount Carmel. Glenn Chalukian goes from Mount Carmel.
Really?
I'm from Mount Carmel. John Spanbauer's from Mount Carmel.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what they taught us over there in Mount Carmel, but apparently we like to get back to our
Geez, I
community.
got Candace Casaro on the show coming this Friday. I wonder if she's from Madonna.
Never know. Never know.
I-
Never know.
yeah.
I vaguely remember that, a little before my time.
Yeah.
Little before my time.
Yeah, right.
I know John Spanbauer's a Duffy guy,
Oh, okay.
All
right. And so you got Joe Chili will be the MC.
Joe Chili will be the MC. We usually have Mark Laurie will be up there as one of the judges for the floats. We do a float competition. I haven't found the
Are there
other two
prizes?
judges yet. Yes, there's definitely prizes. There's trophies for first, second, third place for the floats. We do an essay contest with the high school and junior high school kids, two different contests. For the high school, first, second, third, it's a $75, a $50, and a $25 prize.
And what do they write about?
They write about, on this particular, at what price freedom is the question for the high school student. What's the real price of freedom? And for the junior high school, it's what Memorial Day means to me.
You got to bring some of these in and read them after because it sounds
Absolutely.
like it would be interesting to hear what
Absolutely.
some
And then for the junior high, we give the winning student, his class gets, or his or her class gets a pizza party. And I tell you,
that's nice.
they all get to read there at the memorial. They get to take the time to read their essay out to the crowd. So it's really, really a nice thing.
Sounds like
we
a
get a
neat
lot
thing.
of participation. I'm expecting, we have a young lady sitting off to the side in the studio. I'm expecting that I may be getting one with her name on it. Just so you know.
Oh, I mean an
One
essay.
essay, yes.
Oh.
Being that she's a high school senior, I'm going to have to talk to Mr. Laurie and make sure that her class is pinpointed. But what we do is we turn all the essays right over to the Niagara Gazette, and we let the Gazette pick the winner. We figure they're a newspaper, they're writers, they kind of know what to look for, so we have nothing to do with it. Could be my own son hands in a paper, it just goes to the Gazette, and they pick the winners. They tell us who's first, second,
Do they
third.
put their names on it? Obviously.
Their names are usually on it, yes.
Oh, okay.
But
But they
that's-
don't. They
there
don't know.
is
They
no-
won't look. They won't look up Tompkins. They won't look up.
Not a chance. My kids aren't eligible anyway.
Only kidding, but that's nice. That's.
It is.
I'd
really
like to
nice.
see
That
what.
actually came to us. Roger Spurbeck started that.
Really.
Roger Spurbeck came up to me and he said, "Hey, we should do this, and I'll put up the prize money." And for the first couple of years, he put up the prize money, and I just stopped asking him for the prize money, and we just take it out of what we collect for the donations.
Well, how much? Oh, just the ones you
It's
just
about
mentioned.
It's
50,
about
a couple
$200 when
few-
it's all said and
couple
done.
hundred
You
bucks,
figure
yeah.
150 in the prizes
Yeah.
for a thing, and about $50 for a pizza.
So now, if somebody, I know we're running out of time, but if somebody wants to get involved or they want to find out about the essays, well, you could call Ken here. We're at 333-3020. We're live for about another 45 minutes. So if you're watching now, 333-3020 is our number. But somebody wants to get a hold of you. They want to get a hold of, find out about the essays, find out about a sponsorship.
The essays,
find out-
every school should know about the essays because the essays went out to the superintendent, Mark Laurie, and he did distribute them out there. So I know that they're around. So somebody in every school knows about these essays. But for myself, my number is 940-7092. Again, 940-7092. Give me a call. I'll get an email address, get whatever. I'll send you all the information you need, send you a form to be in the parade. I'll tell you where to write and who to write to check out to for the parade if you want to be a sponsor. And let's make it rock and roll
Sponsor could
this
be
year.
any amount?
Sponsor be any amount.
What do you get for
Most
be-
of the people that I'm announcing here, though, are a $500 level sponsor, which is truly, like I said, we're not quite at halfway of what we need, and we got to get up. We got to be at least 7,000 to 8,000.
Is this, these sponsorships, are those tax deductible? Is that
Well, they do go to the Kiwanis Club of Western New York, or of Niagara Falls, I should say, who's one of our sponsors, along with the Niagara Gazette this year. The Niagara Gazette is helping us out, getting some ads out and stuff, so we can get the word out a little bit better. I do believe that they're tax deductible. I mean, the Kiwanis is a non-for-profit. I'd have to check the true status. Most people don't worry about
I'm just
the
wondering,
tax deductible.
supporting the parade for the veterans and all that you do, if that would qualify.
I honestly don't know. I'm not a tax guy. We'd have to probably check with the tax.
So
guys.
what does a sponsor get if they get in the parade? They give you $500. What do
Sponsors,
they get?
they give them to the community. They're listed up on forms we have up on the stage. We announce them on the webpage. They're all over our social media page. We announce them at stuff like this. If I go on other radio shows, they're announced with that. Usually we'll get a TV
But
station to come in.
you don't want to do that.
If we go on to a TV news comes, they always zero in on the sponsors list and stuff like that. We've put a big thank you in the Gazette for them.
No signs, though, at the along
On
the
the
parade
stage,
route?
we have signs.
Oh,
We
okay.
have signs.
Okay.
Signs made for 'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
I think for something like this, though, Sal, a lot of the places that give to this, give from their heart, give because of what it's for.
No, I understand that, and that's all the more reason why, if you're going to give to support the veterans and all the people, the families, if you're going to support that, then the people that need some work done, or they want to go to a restaurant or something, they should say, I remember this guy. He helped this community situation, and it's just if I'm going to spend my money, I'd go to somebody
This
who.
Apollo Contracting Home Maintenance Enterprises.
What are they?
He said.
Tell me about it.
They're general contractors.
Are they new? No, I haven't heard of Apollo.
You do. You actually know one of the owners, Henry Wallowitz.
Oh, okay.
All right, and Ivan Casavant.
Okay.
They're licensed master plumbers in the city, and they're home improvement contractors. He heard about this, and he said to go, "How much are you short?" I said, "I need about $400. Come see me at my office," and handed me the money.
Oh, that's nice.
No questions, no nothing, no. And I had to call him. Can I say your name? Can I say? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, they should all be. The whole list actually should be read off because
absolutely.
because the people that.
You allow me to do it every year. Every year we come here and we do it. And like I say, we do an ad in the Gazette. We do an ad in the Reporter to try and make sure we say thank you to the people. It's just amazing. But everybody seemed to really love the flags down Pine Avenue last year.
Oh, that was a nice touch.
It was. So we're doing it again this year here. But I had to go out and buy 120 new flags because they did not survive.
And
well.
this is, and you know what? And I think a lot of people, the flags. Last year, I heard a lot of people say, "Boy, it's really nice. The city's decorating." It wasn't the city doing it.
Well, the city did do the work for us. The city
But
workers
they didn't
go out
buy
there and put them
they
up.
didn't buy the flags.
They
so.
did not buy the flags. They did not buy
Was
the
it their-
It was all done through private donations. It was something that I came up with that was a really good idea. I have another idea in my head that I really want to do, but if I announce it and I start it, I think my wife is going to kill me. And maybe I should do it anyway.
I think you should.
I think I should.
Well, you know what? Don't.
It's a June thing.
Just tell me.
It's after the parade.
Just tell me. Don't you have to
It's
tell
after
me.
the parade.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, where they had the Veterans Monument Wall in Hyde Park?
Yeah.
What if we did that whole field over there in a field of flags? You know what a field of flags looks like?
Yeah,
You get 100, 200, 300
Well,
flags. just
well,
flapping in the
I
breeze there.
did see thousands of flags out at Gratwood Park.
Well, I don't know if we have
Thousands.
room for thousands.
Well, yeah.
But I was thinking, I've already talked because, not like I thought.
So I would
about it.
assume I do know what a field of flags looks like.
Not,
But
and isn't it kind of cool?
it's very nice.
Cool. So I was kind of talking to the guys out at Guys Lumber, who's really good, and they can hook me up with a flag kit for like $10, a little under
What's a
$10.
flag kit?
Flag, it's a 3x5 flag on a metal pole. So we could take all them flags and we get people to buy them. You know what I mean? Sal Panessa, we can put duct tape or something on it. It's Sal Panessa, and we plant that whole field full of flag. And when it's over, come take your flag if you want it. If not, we'll have flags, and maybe we could do it again next year. But Flag Day, I believe, is June 11th. How cool would that look? Where we just had the Vietnam Wall to have that whole section of Hyde Park full of flags. Now, I mentioned this to one other person besides yourself, besides my wife, is Brian Markovich from Two Guys Construction. He gives flags away. When they do a job, when they finish a job of constructing every house, they give the people a flag and a flagpole, and they'll put it up if they need it put up. And I ran into him and thought of him with this project because last year he had a post on who needs a flag. And they went out and they gave away hundreds of flags to people that just either had an old flag or ripped up flag. They just went out and bought all these flags and gave them to these people. It's a company that really gives back. A couple of great guys over there. And I mentioned it to them, and they're like, yeah, we should do this. I should mention that. I mentioned to him about my
So
float.
is this kind of, is it done kind of?
If I say this is done and this is going to happen, you got an extra bedroom? Because I'm going to be in a world of trouble.
Done, right? Done.
I'm going to be in a world of trouble.
Is it done? Because I'm trying to get this. You don't know? I don't know.
I think she just heard about it for the first time, too.
No, I don't think so.
If you've ever seen my wife's fist balled up, it's this tiny little chubby thing, but I'm going to be tasting them.
But you see, when I just asked over here, the response I got, I don't know. It wasn't I don't know. It was, I know nothing. I see
no
nothing.
evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, right?
Yeah. So when are we going to see these flags up?
Well, the High Park, or the Pine Avenue flag.
No. When are we going to see the flags up in the High Park?
I got to make the commitment. I've already talked to the city administrator. They're good with it. Talked to John Caso, DPW. They're good with it. I just got so much to do. I mean, I do have a political campaign that I'm running that I have to focus on that as well. It's close to the primary time. I have to be out knocking doors. I mean, as much as I love doing the extra stuff.
Folks, did you just hear that? Kenny Thompson's putting up flags in High Park for Flag Day.
There's no leaving the house today.
Before you cleared the way when others couldn't, before you chose award-winning innovation to take on winter's worst, you started with the Cub Cadet X Series of snow throwers, right here at your local dealer. Home of expert advice, superior service, and exceptional financing. Welcome to Strongsville. Stop by your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer to see the X Series for yourself.
I know. Kenny says, why don't you change it to lawn? You know what? It snowed a couple nights ago.
Snowed this morning.
I was working and it was pouring snow. But you know what? People, like you said,
Do you know what I did yesterday?
No,
I had a barbecue.
No, I don't know.
I had a barbecue for about 100 people.
Yeah?
We were outdoor on a charcoal grill cooking hot dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Let me hold up this. Wait just a second. I'm going to hold this commercial up a minute. I don't know if this is working. I didn't get the barbecue. I didn't get no call.
You did get a call.
No, I did not.
You didn't get a call?
No.
Man, was he on the do not call list?
If you go to Niagara Lawn and Garden, you could probably get some good deals on last year's snow blowers and buy a nice Cub Cadet tractor for your lawn.
I have a very nice Cub Cadet tractor. I love them guys. They take good care of it with the maintenance. They put it together. They delivered it to my house. It's a baby rider, and I absolutely love that they have it.
I just talked to a guy the other day who said Mike and the guys over at Niagara Lawn and Garden are great mechanics, and they take care of the machines, and they're...
It doesn't even have to be their brand.
No.
It doesn't even have to be their brand. You got a snowblower that doesn't run like mine didn't do this year a couple of times, But I always figured it'll melt.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to. Niagara Lawn and Garden, they're on Saunders Sullivan Road, just past military. Do a great job, and they have all kinds of outdoor equipment. They have leaf blowers and tillers and all kinds of chainsaws.
All the stuff that we really want to do on the weekend.
That's exactly what
But the one thing, if you got the right tools, it makes the job quicker.
It does.
It does.
It does.
Still don't like it.
No, who does, So, okay, we got the parade coming up.
Yep.
You said you still got this election thing going on?
Still got this election thing going on. Yep. We're just everybody will be turning in their petitions now every day. That part is pretty much over. I was very ecstatic. I had a number in my head and I went past it by 150. I mean, that's quite a bit. That's really good. The reception was very, very good.
What do they usually weed out? Because I know they go through and go, well, this guy didn't dot this I.
It's not quite that hard, but they look to see if, Sal Panessa lives at this address. Does it look like his signature? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is it dated right? Why is Sal's date 10 days different than any other date on this paper? Why are you in the middle of the sheet? They look for abnormalities.
Right.
They look for just different things. Did they print instead of sign? They still look at that. Was it the intent of it to sign? But, they can go through it with a fine-tooth comb. But like in my situation, in most people's situation, let's just say the number of signatures you need is 500. Turn in 800. They're not going to find 300 bad signatures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you build yourself.
Although
you always try to double the amount.
There has been people thrown out because their petitions didn't hold up.
Absolutely. Well, that's why you work with a good crew and you do what's called scrubbing a petition. Is somebody with knowledge and stuff like that goes through every petition, through and through, make sure all the I's have been dotted, make sure if not, you run back to that person's house and you dot that I, you get that done. Make sure everything's signed right, make sure everything's dated properly. You
What is this is you're going for your second term.
Yes.
What has this whole election process, being on the council, everything, what has it taught you? What have you learned? If you had to take one thing away from it that you wanted to tell somebody new getting into politics, what would you tell them?
Be committed. This is so much work, takes away so much from your personal life, your family life, your friend life. You have to be ready to be 100% committed. Phone calls every day of the week, including Sunday, could be at all weird hours of the day. They'll call you at your work, which, good and bad. They don't know that it's supposed to be kind of a part-time guy. Myself, I probably do as many hours at work as I do on the council. 3-4 hours a week. That's what the heck. No, you got to give it your heart. It takes away. You're at events, you're at functions, you're invited to a lot of charity things you have to go to. You spend a lot of money. There's always a benefit or donation or something like that, and you have to go. You want to represent. You want to.
Now, say you go to a benefit. Somebody's, there's a benefit. They're holding a benefit, and you want to go. Can you take money out of your campaign fund to buy that ticket?
Depends on what it is. Up until very recently, I never had money in a campaign fund that I could do that. It was always you paid cash or you wrote a check out of my Ken Tompkins personal bank account and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff I couldn't go to. I'm lucky that I have a little bit of money in an account, but even then, you just can't go to anything. It has to be something that is community minded. You know what I mean? You can't just go to a stag party for your son or something like that.
No, I'm talking about I heard there was discrepancies about people that went to benefits for ill people.
I don't believe that's considered a political contribution, but like Candace Casaro has a benefit to raise money for her campaign. You can use your money to go to her money. You know what I'm saying? You can, a political campaign, go to a political.
She'll be here Friday.
You can go to like a non-for-profit if, say the.
Well, wait a minute. How do you have a benefit to raise money for your campaign? What do you do? I mean, you mean just like a fundraiser? Is that,
like
is
a
that the same
fundraiser.
thing?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well,
I
benefit
think you called it
fundraiser,
a different name.
Different sort of thing.
Confused.
I had like a barbecue that you didn't come to on the weekend. That was a campaign.
Oh, that's the one you were talking about that I
Yes.
didn't get invited, that I didn't know about?
Well, we try and keep it at a certain level of people.
I see.
Joe Chili was there.
Ah, it's great. Well, sure, Joe Chili's going to be there. You're gonna let him get up on that stage and talk during your parade.
Vincenella was invited. He was out of town, or he would have came there.
Probably would have, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are good guys.
It was actually wonderful. I had probably give or take 100 people plus. And they were the fun thing is.
Did I ever tell you the story how I met Joe Chili and everything?
No, how did you meet Joe Chili?
I was working at a radio station, WHLD in Niagara Falls, and Joe Chili used to come and hang around. He'd bring coffee and stuff if I let him hang around.
Is he just like a young guy?
Yeah. He was like a young guy, yeah.
He's old enough to be retired now, right?
Yeah, I do know. I do know.
That,
yeah. So Joe used to come around, and we finally got him on the air. And I don't know why people liked him. And
he does have a good voice.
Yeah, he does.
He does have a good voice.
He does. He's a good guy.
And he's a really nice guy.
No, he is. So Joe got in there, and Joe used to say, thank you. Not Mr. Press. He called me so. Thank you.
Pops?
Appreciate it. No, he didn't call me Pops. No. And so I said, just remember this someday, Joe, when you're running a radio station and I need a job. So a few years later, he was program director of WJYE.
I think he was there for a couple of years.
Yeah, about 30. And I needed a job, but I said, Joe, I need a job, Really? He goes, I got an opening. Come down. Well, he hired me, and I worked there for about 3 years.
That's pretty cool.
He was a
The
good-
man
yeah.
of his word.
That was a good guy.
Man of his word. He is a good guy.
Yeah.
He is a good guy. He
And-
used to, when we first started doing commercials at Brick Plumbing, he was our voice.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was our voice.
does
He's
a lot
also
of-
a longtime customer.
He does a lot of stuff. He's
He's a good guy.
Hey, we're at 333-3020, Kenny Tompkins with. We're going to go to the phones. Put the headphones on, and let's see who we got here. Hello there. How are you?
Is this Tom Darrell?
Yes.
I'm dropping names, Tom Darrell.
Yes, Tom Darrell.
How I
Yes.
got to know Joe Chili.
Yeah? Uh-huh.
Sorry, Tom Darrell now.
Yeah. Hey, all right.
You're the legend maker.
I know Joe Chili. I know Kenny Tompkins. I know a bunch of people.
Wow, the way you just dropped that name, how he got to start as a young man.
I didn't
Like
drop the
Tom
name.
Darrell.
I didn't drop Joe Chili's name. Kenny dropped his name. Talking about he's going to be the MC for his parade.
Got to start. But listen, Kenny, why didn't you have Sal be your MC?
Well, I've asked Sal to participate in the parade many times now, ever since we started the parade.
Wait, you hear?
And Joe, for some reason, Sal's always, I'm too busy.
Did you just-
I got this, I got that. I got to do my hair.
No.
Gotta get my nails done.
Did you just see that was a typical political answer? Why didn't you ask Sal to MC? Well, I've asked Sal to participate. Didn't say MC. You know why? He forgot to tell you. He called.
Joe Chili promoting this parade every time like you. You've been promoting this parade all weekend.
He sure has.
Every time he's on it, you're promoting the parade. And and he told you he don't want you.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
No, ask Sal what I've asked him to do. I've asked him to be in the parade. I told him he could put it right here on the broadcast network.
He didn't ask me to MC the parade. He asked me to be in the parade. He said, we got a few holes in the parade. Could you fill them?
I told him he should travel the parade route. We'll get him a golf cart, and he could film. And he wants to do it different. Instead of filming the parade, he wants to film the people on the side of the parade.
Absolutely.
Joe's there every year. I always see Joe sitting over there.
Yeah, well.
He's usually right in front of Latinas. The only bad thing is the parade goes the other way.
You're running out of room on Pine Avenue. You better start the parade further down Pine Avenue.
Well, we're actually this year here for the first time. We're going to take over both sides of 19th Street. You know where the old central lanes were? There's the big parking lot. We're going to have some groups and stuff over there in that parking lot too.
Because you're running out of space.
It is. It's a good thing in a sense, though, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. But you meant to start like they used to down on Main and Pine up that way.
That's a long walk for some of the older
Well,
people.
you know, what do they do with the Peach Festival? And what about the parade, St. Patrick's Day parade? Same thing.
St. Patrick's Day parade, we cross the street and go in the front door.
Well, I'm talking about in Buffalo.
Well, we're not Buffalo, man. We're Niagara Falls. Get it right. They steal our name. We don't steal theirs.
Well, no, I'm saying they're parades. And people will do that.
Joe, you okay?
It'd be a good parade. You're nice weather.
Joe, you okay? It sounds like there's an ambulance behind you.
He listens to his police scanner all the time, so he can.
There's a scanner blowing on.
You okay? How you feeling? You feeling better?
Yes, fine. I changed my medication today. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Up now.
I mean, we'd be lost without you around here to call in.
Oh man, I feel lost. I'm lost anyways. But you need to start looking maybe expand this, and it's a good thing. Further down Pine Avenue, because the way you're going with these, now you got bands.
Now you got bands, yep.
Live music. You're doing pretty good with this thing.
Yeah, it's something I'll continue long after I'm gone from being into politics. Hey, speaking of which, Joe, I'm still waiting for a picture of your father. I know you're very proud of his.
I have one picture. That's it.
Well, that's all right. I can blow it up and give it back to you. But I'd love to see some gyros on this float.
I'll send it over to you. When he was first at my birthday, I can't find anything of my father. I'm sure Annie's got pictures of Uncle Tom, right?
I'm sure she does. She's
got more pictures of that film than what to do with.
Hey, I had some people call me about you, Joe, the other day. They said, we hear Joe calls your show, and then they had everything good about you to say and connected with Casa Colombo.
With the Casa Colombo, the Christopher Colombo Society.
Christopher Colombo, yeah.
Christopher Colombo Society.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. See,
I
did it. I said it wrong. So
are you a member, Sal?
No.
Why?
Joe Chili would have said it right.
Why are you not a member?
I just haven't had the time to join.
Well,
I've talked about joining a few
Joe,
times.
did it take a long time to join?
takes about put the application, you get interviewed by the committee, and they bring you up.
You gotta go get interviewed by the committee to see if you're worthy enough to be in there.
I'm a member.
Because they lined up there at one point. Somebody tried bringing a lot of people in to try to take over the organization. He's signing people up.
That's another group that's always in the parade.
That you need to be interviewed and tell us why you want to be a member of the society, and what could you do for us, and what could you do for the Italian community. You know, you want to be. I'll get your application, Sal. You know, if you want to join, I'll be more happy to sponsor you.
You got to get.
I am a member. I'm a member.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to join a bunch of different things. I just wish I had more time. But
you sure don't work, right?
I what?
You surely don't work at the police department, do you, in Niagara?
I show up. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, he shows up every day, Joe. He shows up every day.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, he does his duty, and gets his paycheck, and off he goes.
I always call Sal to see where he's working because I know it's safe to speed in that area because he'll never be coming out from behind the building.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Hey, did you work last night, Sal?
No, not last night.
Yeah,
night before.
On Military Road, coming from the hospital.
There was what?
I was going home. I said I was coming home from the hospital last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was in your neck of the woods.
You had to go to the hospital?
I had bronchitis. I can't shag just now.
Oh, no wonder I can't understand you.
Yeah, it's been finally they changed my medication.
Oh,
it's late in the day for Joe, though. He should be in bed pretty
soon. All right, Joe. Thank you.
No.
All right, Joe.
Bye.
All right.
See you, Joe.
I can never understand him. I don't know if it's his phone or...
He's got to be tired. Poor Joe. He's been going through a lot of health issues
I know.
year. You know?
Yeah, no, I know. Hey, you want to put this guy's phone number in your cell phone? Speaking of phones, that's where you got to put his number, in your cell phone. Let's move up from the 30 years ago. Don't stick it on the refrigerator with a piece of tape or a sticky note, or put it on your, because it's only going to dry up, fall off, go underneath the fridge, get stuck underneath.
It depends on who it is, because my parents still use the side of the fridge for everything. The cell phone, you ask my Dad, where's your cell phone? It's turned off, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Most people tell me, I don't know the number. I just push the button on my cell phone.
Chris is wonderful.
He's a good guy.
He's a very good guy. He's been coming to my house for a lot of years.
His service call is $35, plus the cost of the parts and the installation, but service call, $35. So put his number in your cell phone. You know, eventually you're going to need it. 523-5911, Chris Moore's Appliance Repair. I mean, you know someday you're going to need it.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but
absolutely. And he's fair. He came to my house one time, and it was probably the stupidest thing in the world, and I think he got the enjoyment just laughing at me on the whole thing.
What would you do?
A fuse blew. I didn't even go check that. I didn't really? I have breakers in the house. I didn't realize there was a fuse panel behind the stove, and it was a simple fuse. It's a 15-cent fuse.
Wow.
He was in and out, and he was very fair and reasonable, and he still laughs at me.
Yeah, he's a good guy that way. I mean,
very good guy, very honest, very fair.
He went to a lady's house. I tell the story, but because I love it, because it's a great story. He went to a lady's house one time. She said, "I hear this clicking sound. I think I need a new compressor. My refrigerator clicking noise." So Chris pulled out the refrigerator and looked behind it and said, "Do you have grandchildren?" She said, "Yeah. Here's a picture that was stuck in the fan. Looks like a picture of your grandchild." Didn't charge her nothing.
Yeah, he's very fair, very honest.
Yeah. Well,
very honest. Easily could have said, "Oh, yep, you need a new fan."
Oh, you know what? Somebody would have done. Somebody would have done that.
Absolutely.
I had a friend that had actually it was the thermostat in her car went bad, and she went to a place and they said, she says, "I'm getting no heat." So they said, "Let me look at it." They called her up. They said, "You need 2 hoses, you need a new thermostat, and a new radiator. Be $600. Come on, really? You know?
There's some very honest shops out there, but you really got to look for them.
Absolutely.
I'm lucky. I know a few of the people in the industry, and there's some really good guys out there.
No, there are. But there's guys that will definitely take advantage of you.
I agree with that.
I had a lady the other day, had a battery went dead in her car. Took it to the dealer because the dealer told her it was covered. Took it to the dealer. They said, "Your car's ready, covered, new battery." New battery, yeah. $500. I said, $500? Yeah, we had to check the electrical system. We had to clean the thing. It took 2 hours labor. $500 for a battery.
But you know, a lot of them places like AutoZone now, you pull up and they just throw it on the charge and tell you,
Yeah, I told her.
you know.
Told her.
You know, I'd rather have an honest shop.
If you could find them.
Oh, I'll tell you where two are right now.
Go ahead. You got a good recommendation? Let's hear
Roy's
it.
Radiator. Roger and Mike over at Roy's Radiator.
On Hyde Park?
Probably two of the most honest mechanics I will ever see. And to top them off, probably one of the nicest guys and best mechanics with 2 locations is Steve's Auto. Steve's guys do it right. They do it fair. They give you a great price. They take care of my old cars. Good, solid people.
Yeah, I
Good,
heard
solid
that.
people. Good, solid people.
I heard that. Well, you know, when you look for a mechanic, you look for somebody who's honest. Because especially there's just so many poor people that don't understand cars. And now with the new electronics.
Do you know where I went to school for, Sal? Trot Auto.
Yeah?
Trot Auto.
Did you do auto?
Oh yeah, my first job out of high school was my very first job ever was at Pete's Texaco on the corner of 30th and Pine, washing used cars, $1 a car.
I remember.
And then you moved into pumping gas, and then you learned how to change oil, and then I went to school for it. I bought my first car when I was 12 years old. We might have drove it down the street a few times when I was like 14 years old.
You know what? You just reminded me of something I wanted to ask you, because when you listen to our radio station, you said, "Yeah, I'm playing enough muscle car music."
Muscle car music.
What the hell's a muscle car?
What's a muscle car?
Yeah, what's a
Car's
muscle?
built in the mid '60s to the early '70s. It's a car that's built right. It's classic American muscle. I have a '68 Chevelle. That's considered a muscle car. Camaro's was a muscle car. Corvette was a muscle car. Good Thunderbird.
Fast car? It's got to be a fast car. Powerful car? Is that?
Powerful car.
Yeah.
Powerful car. Good lines, good sleek. You're probably going from about a real muscle car, probably from the mid '60s to the early '70s. You know, the ones you couldn't catch back when you were by the police force.
I gotcha. I know. There was a guy who evaded the cops the other night. We had the news story. They went to pull him over because he was speeding, and they pulled him over, and apparently the cops were walking up to the car or whatever, and the guy
hit the gas.
Took off, yeah. They found the car a couple blocks away, smashed, but the guy was gone.
I never understand that. I just never understand it. You know, you did something wrong, pull over.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you're nice to the police officer, if you're not a total, you know, to them, they're usually pretty reasonable guys. You may still get a ticket, you may not get a ticket, but why do you got to aggravate them? They're just doing their job. You did do something wrong. And how many times did you get away with it that you still spat or whatever and you didn't get pulled over?
The thing, that's true, but they come up with one of the classic lines that they tell you all the time. I was just going with the rest of the traffic.
But you're the only car on the road.
Well, then you say, well, yeah, you were, but you were going 20 miles over the speed limit. So were they. How come they didn't get a ticket?
So I got a question for you.
So wait a minute. So my answer is, you ever go fishing? Yeah. Did you catch all the fish?
So
yeah, your question.
So when you pulled somebody over and you walked up to the
car, it'll get funny to you later. He'll get it on the way home. You know,
you pulled him over.
If Joe Chili would have told that, he'd be wetting his pants now.
Probably. Did someone ever tell you such a good story that you just had to let him go? I mean, it was just so funny. It was so out of this world.
Yes.
What was it?
Best one?
Yeah, best one.
I always tell this one because this is a good story. Pulled a guy over one time for going through a flashing red light. And I walk up to the car, and the guy is doing this, blinking his eye. He goes, "Can I help you, officer?" I said, "Yeah, you just went through a flashing red light." And he says, "Oh, well, you see, I have this condition." And he's still blinking his eyes. And I said, "What's your condition?" He says, "It's called stutter blink." I said, "Stutter blink?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, "See, my eyes must have blinked at the same time the light flashed red, so I didn't see it." I let him go. I let him go. It was just, yeah. I got stutter blink. Yeah, that's right. I like to call this the fun time of year. It's time for entertaining and to visit with friends and relatives and to pick out a special gift for a certain someone. You know what that makes it? It makes it the perfect time to visit Supermarket Liquors and Wines, Niagara's largest liquor store with all your favorites to choose from at Niagara Falls Boulevard and Military Roads. Now, if you want a preview, you can check them out online right now at supermarketliquor.com. They're open 7 days a week, late nights, Friday and Saturday till midnight, with plenty of free, brightly lit parking in front of the store. And there's always plenty of cashiers there to speed you on your way if you're in a hurry. But if you want to browse, it's Niagara's largest liquor store with great gift-giving ideas and selections, whether it's wine or liquors. You know, when you're as big as Supermarket Liquors and Wines, a great gift doesn't have to be expensive. And you can see what I mean when you check out their specially custom bottled tequila and bourbons, handpicked by owner Chris Castellani at Supermarket Liquors and Wines. Supermarket Liquors and Wines in the Mill Pine Plaza on Niagara Falls Boulevard, just moments from the Fashion Outlet Mall. Visit them soon or check them out right now at supermarketliquor.com. Supermarket Liquors, you're going there, you said?
I want to get a bottle of that, and if we are lucky enough, the citizen bless us enough that we win, we're going to crack that bottle.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it smooth?
Oh, it's really nice.
Well, hopefully you'll be there.
And it's not that expensive.
Supermarket Liquors, good prices.
Absolutely.
I got some good friends that work over there, good people. They've been there a long time, too.
Chris Castellani runs a good store. I mean, he takes care of you.
Does.
It's
Good
nice.
man.
So we talked about the election. Now we got a council meeting coming up this week. What are we expecting there?
There's nothing major on top of it. Cuba Little League's coming up, looking for some money. They redo their diamonds there. They're hosting a lot of tournaments in our area. It's a good thing for the neighborhood. Their diamonds are kind of rough. So if we spend a little bit of money there and we upgrade them diamonds, we think we can pull in a bunch of tournaments, which brings in a couple thousand people a year to stay in our area, to come and play for the weekend, with their kids, playing baseball. All good stuff for the city because they spend their money, they stay in our restaurant, or stay in our hotels, eat in our restaurants. It's good stuff.
Did we get casino money yet?
We did not get the check yet, but
are we going to get casino money?
We're supposed to get casino money soon.
When?
Soon.
That's not.
I don't have an exact date, but I promise I will call you when we get it.
Are they negotiating? I mean, are they saying we don't owe you this much?
They had X amount of time to get together. What they first had to do is the state and the Indians had to get together and come up with what's the amount. So they had like 5 or 6 quarters worth of time that they had to go through and figure out how much they actually owed each other and agree on.
Do we know how much? We don't know what we expected.
I do not have the figure.
Oh, I know another question I wanted to ask you. And I have yet to get an answer. What, and don't tell me whatever, well, you can look it up, and what does it cost us to heat, light, clean, and take care of? What does it cost the city for that railroad station downtown that nobody uses?
I'm not 1,000% sure of the number, but I'm going to be in the area that the city share of it is probably in the $1.40 to $1.60 range. Is about what it cost us, our portion. You got to remember the majority.
You're talking
140 to 160.
140.
Yeah, it's in that general area. You got to remember that the majority. Yes, you got to remember that the majority of it is covered through Amtrak. They pay a bigger percentage of it, but there still is cost to the city for heat, light, maintenance.
So last week I heard there was an event there.
There are events there, yes. There's quite a few events there.
So you rent the train station to have an event?
I'm not sure exactly how they go. A lot of these, I'm not sure if they're actually rented is per se. They're not. They're usually a civic event. They're usually something to do with the city or an offshoot. There was a big thing for the railroad, for the Underground Railroad Museum over there and that. It's usually, this last one there is it was African American History month, so they had like vendors and a table, and they did do it at the Doris Duke Center, but they kind of outgrew the gymnasium, so they had it in the train station.
So how much more space do they have at the train station than the Duke Center?
The whole one half is empty.
Because it doesn't look that big.
It's actually a pretty big space.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty big. I know the original plans was to have like 3 or 4 shops in there. Could be small restaurants, could be small shops. It's actually a fairly good sized space.
Well, I've heard people say that and I don't know who the people are. They've asked me to put a restaurant in there, but there's nobody there. I don't want to do it.
Well, I mean, depending on what you put there, it could work. I personally, what's missing is there's no drive-through. But I would love to see a Tim Hortons over there. There's none down in that
down that
neck of
end,
the
yeah.
woods. You know, and it's a kind of a dry thing. But the problem is the way it's built. How would you ever put a drive-through in? And that's, I think, like a Tim Hortons.
You
or Dunkin'
probably have to
Donuts,
come by
their biggest problem.
train.
Come by train.
Yeah.
Just out the window you go.
That's right.
Number 4.
Oh, it's
You know,
funny.
but I mean, I'd love to see something like that down there. But, you know, I mean, there's very strong rumors that Dick Hastings buildings may be sold. That comes, it's hot, and then it's cold, then it's hot, then it's cold. But if you do that, that's like 40 buildings.
Did they sell the Meta building property?
The property is not sold yet.
Okay.
That's a tough one. I'm not real happy with what the city did on that particular
Well, the
one.
city knocked down that building.
Yes,
and it cost
the city
them
knocked down at $54,000.
$54,000, right.
So
So-
we're supposed to sell that building for $90,000.
Yes.
So I would like to see that price change to $144,000. I'd like to recoup our $54,000.
I was going to say, I
plus
just
still
going to
make
ask
the
you,
$90,000.
are they going to try to recoup that money?
I'm sure hoping so, and I will be very vocal for that. Because we did, whoever takes that land, a very big favor. By an emergency demolition, it's an emergency, it has to come down right away. You don't have to spend all the big money on the asbestos abatement and
Sure,
stuff like
right.
that, which that building had.
Yeah.
So we did the developer, whoever gets that building, a big favor. So I personally would like to see us recoup that $54,000 in the purchase price. And to come further at it, this now changes the scope of that property. You're no longer dealing with that historic building. Now you have an empty shovel-level lot over there. So shovel-ready lot, other people may not have wanted to deal because the original plan was to keep that building up and use it. So now that could change the scope. Other people that may have been interested in that property may be interested in that property again because the scope of the property is now changed.
What about
it's a
the old-
dramatic change not to have a building there.
What about what's the situation progress on that old Johnny Ryan building that they said we're
The
going
old
to
Johnny Ryan building goes for historic designation, goes in front of the Historic Preservation Committee tomorrow, actually, on the 2nd. If they decide they want to grant it historic status, it then goes to the city council. The city council then has to decide if they deem it historic or not historic.
Well, so if they deem it historic, it's been there vacant for how many years? Nothing's going on. So if they make it historic, what are they doing? Stopping progress there? What if they do? What
There's
does
a
it
lot
prove?
of there's a lot of trains of thought on this one here, and this is a tough one. I mean, I grew up. My grandfather lived on the 500 block of 9th Street. When we were little kids, he'd take us up the street, and we'd stand there in the window, and he'd watch the pop go round and round and round. And every now and then, they come out and they give you a bottle of pop if you stuck your face in the
So we
glass
should
long
keep the
enough.
building for that?
But no, I'm just saying there's a lot of memory. And it is cool. If you ever stood back and really looked at it, it's very cool. They call it art. It's not Art Deco, but there's a type of art that it is that it's really cool. But the problem is that this developer went down to the city and he said, I want to pay less taxes on this building. It's an empty building or something like that. They said, no, the only way to do it is demolish it. He said, okay. He presented a blueprint to the city. He had a plan that he wanted to have the alley next to it abandoned. He wanted to put in a high-rise hotel, some townhouses down through there. The city said, no, we won't abandon the alley, we won't give you that property, because eventually they want John Daly to go all the way through to Pine Avenue.
Right, I heard
so
that.
they said he wouldn't do that. So the guy looking at his option, he says, well, it's best, he said, if I demolish the building. So he goes down the
And
city.
he owns the property and the building.
Right, he owns the property and the building, and he's been paying taxes on it.
Right.
So he goes down to the city, to the code enforcement, he says, I want to tear down the building, what do I need? And they say, okay, you need to cap off the sewer and water in the street, not at the curb, but in the street. So it's a permanent cap off. You're going right to the main pipes and you're capping off. You got to break open the street, you got to dig open the street, you got to do it. So he said, okay, give me the permit for that. So he hires a contractor, gets it up. He then goes through his building, knowing it's going to come down, he removes all the asbestos. He's got all the asbestos out of the building. Then he says, okay, I'm going to go in and get the permit to knock it down. So he goes to get the permit to knock it down, and they say, whoa, you can't knock it down. People saw him pulling the asbestos out, and they made it an issue, and they said, the building is too important to us to get rid of. So they're blocking it. Now they're trying to put historic status
Sounds like a
on the
bunch
building.
of bull to me, because the building has been sitting there how long vacant and no one's done anything?
The problem is, there was a list that was done, I believe it was either 2006 or 2008, that showed proposed historic type buildings in Niagara Falls, certain artwork and stuff like that. It was kind of a drive around the city. Ooh, that building's cool, maybe we should. But nobody ever did anything with it. So at this point in time, the man bought a building. It's a non-historic building at this stage of the game. He had plans for it. His plans fell through for it. He now wants to make it a shovel-ready piece of ground. Rumor is that he might be talking about putting a Tim Hortons on the lot. Don't know if it's true or not true, but that's what the rumor is. But how do we now, after we gave him the permission to do all the prelim work, and when they tore the asbestos out, they figured they're tearing the building down, so they weren't careful. They just, did what they had to do it contained, do it the right way, but they just ripped everything apart. So that building has now been kind of compromised. So how do we now say you can't do that? And the guy that bought the building bought a non-historic building.
I don't know
now
how
we're going to make it a historic building, which would then limit what he can do to that building.
I don't understand how they could say to anybody who owns the building, this is historic, you can't tear it down. I can't understand that.
I wish the building could stay up. I truly do wish the building could stay up. It's a cool building. But I think on this one here, we've closed the barn door after the horse has gotten out. I think that we learned a rough, harsh lesson here. What
do you think they're going to do, Ken? You think someone's going to go by that building and go, oh, look at how nice
Well, I
this
have been told
architect.
that there's people out there that have made offers for the building. I've asked to, let's see or let me talk to these people that made offers. Are they legitimate offers? Nobody's brought that forward to me. The other thing with the building is the guy owns it. It's his building.
That's what I'm saying.
It's his building. You know what I mean? And he bought a non-historic building. This is a tough one. Nobody really wants to see the building go down, but they've already filed a notice of claim against the city by denying this. It's called in Article 78. They've already filed that with the city. And I think that if we don't allow him to do what he sets out to do, I believe we are setting the city up for some pretty good liability here. We already allowed him to start the process. We already allowed him to spend a lot of money.
Do we have lawyers that have looked at this? The city lawyers? What do they say?
Well, you got to see where it goes. First, the next step is to see where historic status goes. If it doesn't get historic status, the city has no leg to stand on. They're banking on the historic status.
Well, I think you're going to get about as much people to go down there and look at that old Johnny Ryan building and go, wow, how nice. Look at those look at how nice the grooves are.
When you look at that building and you think about, there's another building similar to it in the city. Do you know where it is?
Hotel Niagara.
Nope.
No.
Very similar to it.
No.
Wentz Dairy. Take a look at Wentz Dairy. You kind of see the same brickwork, the same sort of pattern.
Really?
Yeah, take a good look when you drive down that way.
I will.
It's pretty cool.
What about the outside of the Hotel Niagara? That's got...
But it's different. It's not Art Deco. The other one they say is the telephone building on 3rd and Ferry and the Giacomo. There's four examples that I know of in the city.
Giacomo.
The Giacomo. The United Office Building.
Yeah, I know. I know that. But I just don't. I can't recall anything special about other than. I mean,
take a look. You got
Carl Palladino did a real nice job.
I never thought that the Johnny Ryan was that cool of a building. I mean, you just remember the building all your life. And then I saw a picture of it from the front, from across the street, down the street a little bit. It is a pretty cool looking building.
I want to see crowds out front of the Johnny Ryan building, the old Johnny Ryan building, looking at it, going, "Oh, look how this is wonderful." And then, better than that is to go down to the front of the Hotel Niagara and look at that statue and go, "Oh, look at this beautiful $600,000 statue." I mean,
I voted no, Sal. I voted no.
You want to see some great old stuff? Go to People's Casino and Gold Mine on Military Road, across from the old Kmart site. They got a lot of stuff in there that you could buy for pennies on a dollar, and they're historical, some of them.
Are they?
Yeah, people go in there and go, "Oh, look at that compressor! Look at Schultz and Dooley! I want that."
Look at that! You knew Schultz and Dooley. That's
I
pretty
did.
good.
Yeah.
Did someone tell you that?
No. Because People's Casino, they buy gold, they have great stuff, and Ruben will bargain with you too. Because people, come on, I can't even talk anymore. You can. All right,
Your wife told you that.
Let's get. That's right. My wife probably drank Schultz and Dooley mugs, probably when she was a kid.
What's the one that looks like a pirate?
Pirate?
Yeah, there's a mug out there that it's kind of a famous name. It looks like a pirate.
I don't know.
Sailor's face.
I don't know.
Oh, ask your wife. She'll know.
Okay, I'll check with her. Tell us about, in closing, I want to get a hold of you again, the parade, whatever.
I'm easy to reach. It's at 940-7092. Again, any group, organization, business that wants to be in it, anything to do with military, we want you in. Still looking for sponsors, please. If you can spare it, step up. Any business corporation, we'd love to have you. We'd like to make this one, we'd like to make it grow every year. This one here, we're committed to, like I say, about 10 bands this year, so really should be good. And if not, just come on out. Be on Pine Avenue, 10 o'clock on the 25th. Line it up, watch it. See Sal, wave to him in his golf cart, him and Roe. Be out there with their cameras.
Say hi to Joe Chili. He'll be up on the stand.
Joe Chili be up on the stage.
He'll be up on the stand talking.
With the cover over top of him.
Yeah.
We give him free donuts, coffee, stuff like
Folks, thank you. Kenny, thanks for being here, Ken. I can't wait for you to come back again.